Welcome to Basket Talks new episode. This is Mir Demir Demirer from Basket Talks. In this episode, we are with Manuel Peña Garcés. How are you, coach?
Hello, how are you? Very good. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for make time for this because we have very busy schedule, I see. And I'm good. And you?
Yeah, very good. I mean, we are just busy as always in this moment of the season, but also we have like this frame for the FIBA windows. It was good time just to have this meeting, for example, with you.
Thank you. So what's going on in FIBA windows? The all match good? The season is good?
Yeah, the season is being very good, and I'm new here this year in Gran Canaria. Team, the guys, they are just working hard. Also, they work with the coach Jaca and with the rest of the staff, other assistant like Victor or Asier or Lander or all the people in the staff. Very good. So good environment, and that's probably one of the keys for working good.
Yeah, nice to hear that. So I want to start with your basketball career, your past basketball career. When and where did you start caring about basketball?
Starting in the regions, basically playing basketball, and at the same time that I was playing more or less high level or semi-pro level, I started just coaching as well in the youth programs, and that was in a village close to Castellón, where I was born in Alcora. So I started there with like we call here mini bowlers, the school, and after just little by little, I started just coaching also just more, no adults, but youth programs, right? So, I mean, in that moment, I don't know if I fall in love with basketball, but definitely I started caring about basketball. My time after I went to Italy, there I keep playing in high level, and I start also coaching and finishing my studies, even my degree in the university, and even my studies for being a coach. And then from there, after I went to England, I finished there to play because I started working with the Spanish Federation as well. From there, I just was focusing in coaching, which is something that excites me, and I think that is a very nice pathway, and I'm very happy for that. So more or less, that's the pathway, and more or less when I start just caring about basketball.
Yeah, thank you. I understand, right? You play basketball. By the way, you are doing coaching, right?
Yes.
It's same time?
Yeah, I mean, I started just doing, obviously, I was playing in senior team, but I was coaching youth programs, so under 15s, under 14s, under 12s. I started, obviously, in mini bowlers, as I said before. And then, well, I mean, even last year that I was not in ACB, I was like a sporting director in Estadio Casablanca, in one big club in Zaragoza, but I was coaching one group of, for example, in that moment was girls under 14s. Very happy, and I learned a lot from them. This year, ACB, last year I was in under 14s, but I'm very happy just to be able to do this.
Yeah. By the way, when you do this, like you was a player and you was started your coach career, you are in university, and your university class is industrial engineer, right?
Yes, I mean, my degree is industrial engineering.
So I want to go to the deep things, like as you said, you were in U15's team, team, and what do you think about how to train young players as they get older?
Basically, I think that you have to individualize the process. So every single player is different. You cannot compare, for example, one under 15, even in different positions, but even in different environments and even in different places and countries. And you have to just check, analyze. And this, again, helps me a lot, my background as an engineer. So you analyze what the player needs, what is the environment that he's just going to face, because obviously it's not the same like the league that he's going to play, for example, in England, where I was over there, or the league that they are going to play in Spain, or even in different regions in Spain. It's not like it's going to change that much your program with him, but it's going to change the face that week after week he's going to just be playing. So you need just to be ready, and sometimes even the different level have just to change, and even if he's under 15, maybe playing with under 17, you know what I mean? The key definitely is like individualize and study what are the needs for each case.
First of all, I want to ask, what's the average age of starting basketball? What do you think?
I mean, it depends. For example, one of the great programs or one of the keys that in Casablanca last year I was working there, they had is like they start with the mini ballers, and they have like a school a couple of days per week that they have even under 4 years old. So it's like a baby basket. I mean, obviously they are not playing basketball there, but they are just doing a lot of games related with basketball and games with the ball or with the mini ball, and where you just work with them, just coordination and different things. And they are fantastic. And the people that care about that kind of groups, they are amazing. I think that to start more seriously, we can say, after under 7 years old, in an interesting program, you mix the fun of the basket and you start just making friends. I remember, for example, myself, and I don't want just to be very long in the interview, but I remember myself, my environment when I started just sports, because until 12 or 13 years old, something like that, I was playing basketball and football as well, but my environment was sports. So another people, environments, maybe they are another kind of things. For me, it was very healthy because I was related with the sport. So I think that something important is this.
Thank you. And you said analyzing young players, like you say 2 systems. How can coach analyzing through the players? Because some coaches say like, this is a player, this is gonna be player in future, and he's not good player sometimes, or he's a LeBron James like. So what do you think about this?
You are asking me a very tricky question, how detect the talent, right? So that's detection of the talent. There is a people that is very good, for example. Paul Arbalejo was one of the persons that was in Zaragoza before my time in Zaragoza. Now is a general manager, I think, in Alicante, in Le Gold. I remember some people talking about like he was able just to say, okay, this guy is going to be an after. He was right, for example, and we have to just detect that or put the label so early. What we definitely have to do is analyze what are the needs, just to put them in the best possible situation when they are going to the jump for like senior league or professional league.
Yeah, thank you. So what do you think about what's the biggest mistakes the most young players make?
It's again interesting question. I would like to say that one of the things that they have nowadays sometimes is the pressure. They put too much pressure and they forgot about the fun sometimes. And this is actually putting from the coaching perspective sometimes, right? In another way, nowadays, for example, one of the important things, and I mentioned in some of the conferences that I was just doing like last year, for example, we coaches have to convince more the players. So the player have the need of being convinced. Before was more like, okay, they obey, and that kind of leadership was easier somehow. Obviously, I prefer this nowadays because they have more knowledge, but at the same time, that kind of respect, I think that is very important, and following more or less the process is important. Sometimes we mix that. The youth players, sometimes they feel like empowered of this. We have just to be in a communion, to just work together for your future, to be able to put you in the best situation when you are just going to the next year, right? I mean, when I'm going just, for example, to see some youth teams, I can see coaches just yelling and just, come on, God. This is something that is like, okay, why we are just that one when the player should be all the time making 100% effort, right? So 100% intent. And this is something that have to be like a commitment and agreement with the coaches and the players. I remember this, for example, I learned this from Mark Bennett, that he's just one English behavior coach. My advice will be, okay, when you want something and you enjoy, keep enjoying, but put the maximum effort.
Yeah, and those are the advice for young players too, right? Your advice for young players too. Yeah, thanks for answering this terrible question. So, as we said, you are an assistant coach of Gran Canaria. So, what are your responsibilities as an assistant coach?
It's nice because it's something that I try to analyze a lot of times. Actually, I have like in Spanish, but kind of a program where I just had a meeting with one assistant coach in each group of ACB. And this is in a sport coach in one platform online. The people can just follow. And one of the ideas was just answering this question. In my case here, for example, and this is one question that I ask all of them. So, I mean, now it's in the other way. You are asking me that, so it's fun. We are just a group of assistant coaches, okay, for Jaka Lakovic. So one of the things that coach, we need is just understand very good what coach wants. And then we need to transmit. So we are like people that transfer information to players sometimes. But my responsibility, direct responsibility, is analyze some games games. Some teams do the scouting, prepare like some informed videos. This is one of the things. Another thing that we are just working is like some segment inside of the practices, okay, that coach wants, okay, us to prepare, for example, and obviously that has to be always related with what he wants. This is important. And after, for example, in the game, we have to be checking, okay, that the things that we prepare, we are just perform, and after we react to some contra scouting. And in the post game, okay, that is not my responsibility, but because we have like a series just doing that, we just analyze and check, and if we have connect that with the next game, we just divide the scouting games. For example, Victor, which has a very great experience, and I'm learning a lot from him. He's assistant coach in national team as well, so he's in charge of some games and I'm in charge of another game. So that's more or less the day work and the responsibilities I have.
Yes, so you have so much and hard responsibilities. Like you need to work before the match, after the match, off season. You need to always work. So you work many different countries and many different clubs. What do you think about starting youth basketball in Europe before the moving professional?
It's a great question. Sometimes I look behind me and I say, okay, I cannot see, but yeah, I mean, I have been in Italy, in England, in Spain, and working in different places. So always so happy, just for, as I say, to be able to have that career. To start just playing basketball, I mean, as I say before, one important part is like why you are start playing basketball. And these players that we have here up in my background, they cannot forget about it. That's the very important thing that you have to click when you start playing basketball. And that's one of the things that I always say to the players when they are starting, right? When they go to the professional level, they cannot forget why they start playing basketball. Because it was fun, right? Why you play basketball? Why you care about basketball? Why you are doing this kind of interviews? Because it's fun for you, because you like.
Yeah.
So you are not just, I mean, sometimes you are stuck in a work. That's happened, right? You are stuck in a work that you don't like. Then you are trying to move, but maybe you are 1 year or 2 years, or people that is all his life in a work that they don't like. When you have the possibility to work in something that was your hobby or your escape line, and you can just be professional in that, you cannot forget about the initial point. And that's one of the things that it doesn't matter if you are in England or if you are in Germany or if you are in Italy or if you are in Spain. So one of the important things is like, okay, I'm doing that because I like. In the moment that I don't like, all right, just try to find something you like. And that's one of the important things. Or connect with your point. It was fun because I was doing this. So I'm not going to be able that no one just explode my balloon. I like my balloon.
We need to enjoy what we're doing.
Exactly.
We listened to your advice for young players, and I want to ask you, what is your advice? What are your advice for new coaches?
As I was saying before, being passionate. Obviously, if you want to be working here behind and it's your focus and it's your only idea, maybe it's not going to work. So sorry about that. Be careful. So I don't want to break or to explode any balloon. Just keep working for your dream, but enjoy what you are doing. I was enjoying all my time as a basketball coach, and in my life was a very important part of it. But it was not a focus or the only way. The end is not, because if not, we are just like a Machiavelli, right? So we can justify, okay, the pathway to arrive to the end. And I don't think in that. I think more in enjoying the pathway, and then that's the important advice. So enjoy and be ready and prepare yourself and study the game, understand the game, and talk with coaches and ask for advice and be vulnerable, because the vulnerability is very important as well. Sometimes we are just in a world that everybody is just making this kind of wall that, okay, it's mine and I'm not gonna know. Broke that wall and just be vulnerable and say, okay, I don't know that. Then when you arrive to the point, okay, I don't know this, is the point where you are starting, where you are going to start learning that. Otherwise, if you put a wall, it's going to be tough. So vulnerability, passion, and enjoyment. So that will be like 3 important things I think that I will say.
Yeah, thank you for your suggestions. So we can say the theme of this episode, this interview, enjoy what you doing. So thank you for your coming and answering my questions.
It was my pleasure, as I say. Okay, thanks. Good luck with the show and good luck with the rest of the interviews. And I will be following you, and we will be in touch.
Thank you. And see you in real Have you ever come to Turkey in future? You have a match in Turkey?
Yeah. We have like games over there, so we are gonna go over there to Ankara, I think, in some weeks.
Nice to hear that. So I'm trying to come your match, and I want to see you in a match. So thank you again.
That will be amazing, and of course, I will just offer you a ticket just to come to the game.
Thank you. So see you soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
In this episode, we are with Manuel Peña Garcés. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy. See you in next episode. Bye.